A lot to get to and unpack on today's Lakers report, but first, if you're ready for the offseason to officially get started, I want you to type me in the comment section right now. And if you're tuned in and you're like, Chase, what do you mean the offseason has already gotten started? I'm talking NBA free agency as well as the NBA draft, because what has already been a lot of movement for Los Angeles over the last couple of weeks, it's only getting started. Type me in the comment section and let's dive into the latest Lakers news and rumors. Here's what we have coming up on the Lakers Report. I'm your host, Chase Sr. Could a Russell Westbrook for Kyrie Irving trade actually happen? We'll dive into the latest Lakers rumors on that front. We'll also take a look at a Lakers no-brainer trade target. The Lakers are also continuing to go throughout their NBA draft workouts. And yes, they don't have a selection in the draft up to this point. They could buy a second-round pick, though. And we have a lot of news to get to as Darvin Ham continues to round out his staff as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. But we start off with some juicy Lakers trade rumors. Bill Simmons is talking about it. A lot of NBA talking heads are as well. And I am too, because I cannot help myself. Could a Russ trade for Kyrie go down? Several NBA media members have discussed the potential of a trade going down. Bill Oram on the herd with Colin Cowherd yesterday said this: I don't think it's nuts, actually. I don't know that it's going to happen, but from a logical standpoint, it does make sense. From a logical standpoint, the Nets are absolutely sick of the Kyrie Irving experience, and conversely, the Lakers are sick of the Russell Westbrook experience. That said, the Nets know they have the better player and the better asset despite all of the idiosyncrasies. Give me an A+ for correctly pronunciating that word. So from a logical standpoint, why would the Nets trade the better player in Kyrie Irving and get back the worst player who's also really expensive, aging, and his game is decreasing in Russell Westbrook? I also think about it from this perspective as well. Why would Kevin Durant want to play with Russell Westbrook, who he left to go to the Golden State Warriors? And by all accounts, they didn't like playing with one another on the floor. Russ is older, KD's older. The pressure has been ratcheted up in Brooklyn for KD to have success because him leaving the Golden State Warriors, one of the all-time bad business decisions in the history of the NBA, in my opinion. And then you're teaming up with Russell Westbrook, whose game has precipitously gone downhill over the last couple of years. It doesn't make sense unless KD signs off on it and he wants to give it another go with Russell Westbrook because he can no longer deal with the drama of Kyrie Irving. So from Oram on the herd to Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo on the Bill Simmons podcast, Simmons said this: Sam Presti, OKC, former home of Russell Westbrook, taking the hometown hero home for a year, get a couple of Lakers firsts out of it. The Lakers get Kyrie, and the Nets just get a huge trade exception. That's it. And then you try to figure out what to do with it. I feel like the Nets would have to get something in that, though, and I don't know what it is. So if you're able to involve a third team here and enter draft capital into the equation, maybe this trade is realistic. But what do you think? I want to hear from the Lake Show and all of Laker Nation in the comment section right now. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no if you think a Russ-Kyrie trade is actually realistic for all of these parties. You look at the numbers for Russ last year as well as Kyrie. For Kyrie, his lack of availability is so problematic, and you never know when he's just going to go away from the team and not inform his head coach like he did with Steve Nash 2 years ago. 78 games played for Russell Westbrook. If there's a strength for Russ, he is durable and almost always available. And he still puts up pretty big numbers. 18.5 points per game, 7.5 rebounds last year, north of 7 dimes. But for me, it's the efficiency of the player as you look at the shooting splits. And Kyrie, by far and away, the better basketball player, more gifted, younger, will be about the same price tag as Russell Westbrook. And frankly, I think he makes your team monumentally better than Russell Westbrook. He's more of a winning player when he's on the floor. Now, the Lakers, if they were to complete this trade, Kyrie for Russ, and they end up landing Kyrie Irving to team him back up with LeBron James, I love the on-court fit. him playing alongside LeBron as well as Anthony Davis, but the Lakers should be jumping over the moon if they can complete this deal to get Russ out of there, get rid of that headache, get rid of just the maddening overall play where he doesn't have a great feel for the game and makes just blasphemous decisions late in games, and you get the better guy back in Kyrie Irving, who, in my opinion, still has star years left ahead of him. You can't compare Russ and Kyrie up to this point. Kyrie, the far superior player with an unbelievable level of talent. My only issue with Kyrie, a little bit flaky, and his lack of availability is certainly annoying. Who would you rather have between these two future Hall of Famers? Is it Russ? Is it Kyrie? RW for Russell Westbrook, KI for Kyrie Irving. Let me know right below me. No-brainer trade target coming up next. Bleacher Report did a fantastic job of putting together one no-brainer trade target for each team in the NBA. The pick for the Lakers? We'll tell you right now. Gordon Hayward. And look, from a stylistic standpoint, you get rid of Russ here, let's just say, right? You get back Gordon Hayward. If he can stay healthy, I do think that he actually would play really well alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He's put up really good numbers for Charlotte over the last couple of years. And Gordon Hayward is a quality basketball player who can make a lot of winning plays. And while he might lack something defensively, good offensive player still up to this point, even though he's been in the league for a minute. So Grant Hughes of Bleacher Report put this trade together as well as this article. He said this: Gordon Hayward could hardly be more different than Russell Westbrook, which is a good place to start when making the case for his fit with LA. A career 37% shooter from deep, Hayward also among the best passing forwards in the league. Yes, he is. Backdoor cuts and all that off-ball action. His assist rate at this position has been in the 90th percentile or better in 5 of his last 8 full seasons. And unlike Westbrook, Hayward isn't ball dominant, and he is not an assist hunter. He supplements his setups with many more pass-before-the-pass plays that serve as vital connective tissue to an offense. Vital connective tissue to an offense. The vocabulary on today's Lakers Report, straight up next level. But a lot of the points that he made, some of the points that I made, and some of my takeaways for what the Lakers will be getting back in Gordon Hayward. Now, if the Lakers do make a move, if they make a trade, if they make a signing, if anything big goes down with this team, we'll be the first to let you know. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Turn on your notifications. Therefore, when we do push out a video, when we do go live, you will be notified and get that push noti on your computer, your tablet, or your phone. Hayward, the last 2 years with Charlotte, pretty solid numbers, and you stack up the offensive production with what doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, the hockey assists and the overall assists, right? 17.5 points per, north of 5 boards, 46.5% shooter, and the last 2 years, knocking down 40% of his downtown attempts. Pretty good numbers for Gordon Hayward. Here's where the concerns come in, and here's where it can get a little bit sketchy for LA, considering LeBron older, injury prone. Anthony Davis, always injury prone. Gordon Hayward is as well. 81 of 82 games missed back in the 2017-18 season. That's when he suffered that gruesome injury on the road in the season opener against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Next year, 10 of 82 with Boston, 20 of 72 during the bubble year, 28 of 72 2 years ago, and this past year, his end-of-the-season press conference, he was on crutches because of more lower body injuries. I think he's compensating a little bit after that disastrous injury after he got the bag from Boston. 33 of 82 games missed this past campaign. Next up on the show, something that I'm really excited to talk about, draft season, as I am Chat Sports' go-to NBA draft analysis. Rob Pelinka telling Spectrum Sportsnet that the Lakers hope to buy at least one second-round pick, and we'll take a look at some of the players that we're working out in preparation for the draft. You got to find young talent that can stay on this roster, and that's why I think it's important. That's why I get excited about the fact that Rob Pelinka could look to purchase that second-round pick. You have LeBron. You have AD. Right now, Russell Westbrook. Dream scenario, you get Kyrie Irving. Those are 3 max-level players, so you have to find a way to fill out your roster with guys who can actually play, who are affordable because of the max deals given to some of the superstars in this league. Now, we'll get to the latest Lakers draft workouts, but I want to hear from you once more in the comment section right now on the Lakers Report. Who you got NBA Finals, BOS for the rival Boston Celtics, or GSW for the other rival in the Golden State Warriors. Get your NBA Finals predictions in right now. If you do want to bet on the NBA Finals, no better place to do it than our sportsbook partner here at Chat Sports, BetUS. Right now, offering a 125% deposit bonus if you use that link right below me and the promo code to my right. It's chatsports.com/Lakers, promo code Lakers125. Game 3 odds, the Celtics going back to Boston TD Garden are 3.5-point favorites. A lot of people think this game could be a blowout in favor of the C's. The over-under set at 212. Get your bets in by using that link in that promo code, thanks to our friends, BetUS. Monday's pre-draft workouts. Couple of really intriguing players, and a lot of players who are guys who you're familiar with. Remy Martin, the guard out of Kansas, really good in winning the national championship last year. Teager just fawning over Remy Martin. 8 points per game last year, 46% shooter, 38% from three. When he was playing for Arizona State, pretty solid player, right? He goes to Kansas. I thought he was actually even better, especially throughout the tournament. He ain't scared to let it fly from deep. Johnny Juzang, a lot of people are definitely high on him. The guard and forward combo out of UCLA. Last year, 15.5 points per game, 36% from three. And he's playing in the Crypto.com Arena backyard at UCLA. And a lot of Laker fans are familiar with him, with what he's been able to do last couple of years under Mick Cronin. There was that deep NCAA tournament 2 years ago. Once again, UCLA was very good this past year. Johnny Juzang has been a big part of that. Jermaine Samuels out of Villanova, really good athlete, elected to go back to Villanova this past year. It worked out for him as the Cats made a run to the Final Four. And after some injuries throughout the tournament, they had a rotation of 6 or 7 guys, and Jermaine Samuels was playing a lot. 6'7", 230, really good size. Doesn't really shoot the ball from the outside at all. I think he might get undrafted, but as an undrafted free agent who gives you energy and rebounding, and a heady basketball player who is used to playing in a really good culture at Nova under Jay Wright, who recently retired, I would really like him as an undrafted free agent. Michael DeVoe, the guard out of Georgia Tech, another player who the Lakers worked out. Same with Howen Guo of the Shanghai Sharks overseas. A lot of people like to make jokes that, a couple years ago they were saying, a couple players on the Lakers, they should play for the Shanghai Sharks, like Kyle Kuzma. Absolute joke. It actually is, in all seriousness, a very good international league. And then lastly, Kenneth Lofton, who is kind of a draft sensation because he looks like Charles Barkley did coming out of Auburn. A little bit overweight, a little bit pudgy, looking like the Pillsbury Dough Man. But man, Kenneth Lofton, he can move for his size, and he's lost a little bit of weight. 16.5 points per game last year, 10.5 rebounds. You watch him run the floor at his size, and he's a very intriguing prospect. 6'7", 275 pounds. So when I made that comp of his body type to Charles Barkley, I ain't lying. And no, don't get soft in the comment section saying I'm body shaming. We're evaluating these NBA draft prospects, so you got to look at the body type. This coming in from Dave McMenamin also about Darvin Ham's coaching staff. Reporting with Woj, Darvin Ham started to shape his coaching staff. He informed David Fizdale, Mike Penberthy, as well as John Lucas III that they will not, and I repeat, not be retained. I think that's smart for Darvin Ham to put together a coaching staff that he wants. Ham also has been discussing assistant coaching roles with several possible candidates around the league, sources tell ESPN. That's a process that's expected to be ongoing for weeks. So he's not really in a rush, and he doesn't really need to be. For Ham, you're a rookie head coach. You're trying to implement your culture and put an imprint on this roster, the locker room, the franchise, as well as the fan base. Take your time to shape your coaching staff to your liking. Bring some guys in who you think are going to move the needle, who are going to help you with transition offense, as well as defense and just overall offense. Get guys in who you like to work with and start forming that culture back to the championship days that the Laker Nation knows very, very well and are fond of, certainly. If you made it to the end of the video, you're a real one. I appreciate you, and we want to show you some love in the comment section. If you show us some love in the comment section, type squad so I know who the real ones are. Squad. Thanks for watching today's show.